Hello there and welcome to this lap guide on Okayama in iRacing in the Porsche Cup. It's 2025 Season 3, Week 5 here. And we're gonna take a little look at the conditions if you want to have the exact same session as I did, then you can easily copy them. And as we look into the sector times right here, we did a 131.071, which is a decent lap. It could have been a bit better. As you can see, it is really hard to get consistent laps in here, but the more you practice, the more consistent you will get. And this track is pretty tricky, but it is also really rewarding if you get it right. So I'm gonna show you around here, and then we're gonna figure out how this works. Here we go, we approach turn 1 and we want to look out for the 100-meter sign on the left side, because a little bit before that we want to start to apply the brakes here. Then we aim for the right side curb here. We don't necessarily have to go completely onto this curb. We try to avoid it even a little bit because there's already the grass coming up. And then you go onto the throttle in the middle of the corner there, and you try to not understeer too far to the outside since you need the next corner, which is a difficult one if you go too far to the left here. So here we try to go as far as we can to the right side, and then before this thing is coming up here, we're starting to brake. We are in a trail brake here almost for the whole time in this corner. And then as soon as we notice, okay, we can go onto the throttle. We aim for this curb a little bit here. We go back onto the throttle. Not full throttle, since you can easily oversteer there. So try to find your way into it. I even lifted it a little bit after that here. Then we go completely onto the right side here. Try to not hit the gravel. Full throttle here, easy go through. Then we aim for the 100-meter sign again. And we're gonna start to brake pretty heavy here. Second gear, we try to go close to this curb since there's banking in this corner. We try to keep it to the inside. Early throttle, since we have that banking, we can go a little bit earlier than you might think. And we try to get a great exit for this straight line here. This is probably an opportunity to overtake. And the next corner is kind of a tricky one, especially if you try to overtake here. Then there's the 100-meter sign here, which we are aiming for, and we start heavy braking again, and we try to go into the banking here early again, since we have a little bit of banking again. And then you go on the brakes, on the throttle in like the middle of the corner, rotate the car around on the inside because you have to get the next corner right. And this is quite tricky right now. So for me, I figured out the second gear is working better. I tried out third gear as well, but I started to understeer into the gravel that is coming up. So second gear for me is working pretty fine. Then we brake a little bit, and then we hit the throttle pretty hard. We go onto the right side here. Then we use as much track as we have, and we brake here again as soon as we hit that curb. Then I go down into second gear again, pretty late though, because if you go too early, you will get too slow. So we have a little bit of braking, a late downshift into second gear again, and then we get a great turn in. We can hit the curb on the inside, and we can go full throttle out of here. Little oversteer here, yes. You can also try third gear in that corner if that fits you. For me, that was a faster way. Then the 50-meter sign is what we aim for. We brake a little bit before that is coming up. We brake down into second gear. We try to get it to the inside of this curb here. Be careful, if you go too much onto the throttle, you will oversteer like crazy in this corner. As you can see, I had to correct a little bit. And then we aim for the next hairpin here. And we go onto the small trail braking again. And then we hit the throttle in the middle of the corner at that apex. So we try to go completely to the outside onto this curb. Next corner. We can see the tower on the left side disappearing here is when we start to turn in. You can turn in pretty early, just lift the throttle, then hit that curb, go into the throttle again, go to the outside here. As soon as this thing disappears, you can start to brake. Then try to not lose the car since it's really twitchy out here. Maybe it's the conditions. I don't know if the open conditions are a little bit better, but I hope so since they're really tough here. And then you can get back onto the throttle, not immediately full throttle. That's important. Build the throttle up here. And you can go to the outside now. Try to not hit the gravel since the gravel is slowing down a lot. And then you can easily have a 131.071 here. That's how you do a lap here. I hope this helps you a lot, and I hope I'm gonna see you on track this week or in the streams, and I hope you can find a lot of pace. Have a great one. Adios.